Yes, people, how's it going? And welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. That's right, the Auburn golden ginger hair remains until it doesn't. But, you know, Club World Cup settings. Welcome back to Chelsea News. It is Tuesday. It is a transfer window. Therefore, we're reacting to the Athletic transfer deal sheet. Chelsea, by the way, popping off in the market, making loads of sales. Over, done out here, sewn up. We've got the market sewn up, and I'm going to get into it today. So strap yourselves in, boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen. It's going to be a great video. I'm so thankful for your continued support. You can offer that by liking and subscribing. That's nice of you. Thank you for doing that. And if you're feeling limber, warm, and good to go, just take a moment and listen to this message. It's high time you get yourself that virtual private network. That's right, it's time to get a VPN or upgrade to a better one. Thankfully, this video is brought to you by my partners, Surfshark. So a VPN works by moving your internet's location elsewhere, and fortunately for you and me, Surfshark has got many servers in many countries. I'm sure everyone has been aware lately that there's been loads of data breaches from companies all over the world, and digital safety has never been more important. Fortunately, Surfshark can offer you that. Keeps you safe, keeps the bad guys out, the data pirates, and lets you browse in private. Privacy is important. So now that we all feel safe, let's have a little bit of fun. That's right, Surfshark can also open up media and entertainment. By moving your internet's location elsewhere, you can open up new media catalogs. I do this on Netflix, but you can do this on a multitude of streaming platforms and services. Digitally leave your country, enter another, and open a whole new media catalog. Seeing as we're all friends here, you can benefit from this incredible deal. Use my code FOOTBALL on Surfshark for an additional 4 months free. That's right. When you use my code FOOTBALL on Surfshark, you can utilize this wonderful offer. Or head to surfshark.com/football. Or alternatively, click the link in the top of the description and go and get this now, guys. It's time. Come aboard the good ship, Surfshark. What a wonderful opportunity. Jump on the VPN hype train, guys. Do it. It's time. Right, so like I said, we'll be citing the Athletic deal sheet in this morning's video. Lots of stuff's been popping off. Of course, there is a segment about Chelsea on the Athletic deal sheet here, which we're going to speak about. But of course, they do a want-to-watch segment, like before the, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, yada, yada, yada. And they're talking about Nico Jackson, which of course is a huge talking point. Everyone's back at training at Chelsea now. You may have seen, there's even been a picture of Steve-O Willian's in town. He's in a Chelsea kit. He's not training with the team yet. I saw on social media, the Secret Scout social media page explain, we all sort of know this already, but reiterate the fact how he'll be going through rigorous fitness tests to see where he's at, because they haven't seen him yet. Do you know what I mean? They probably had a word with him at the World Cup, the Club World Cup, and now he's at Cobham, he's at Chelsea, settling in. He's probably finding where he's going to live with his family. They need to spend probably a day or two putting him through different fitness tests, completely analysing his body, his fitness capacity, and then integrating him accordingly into the team, so of course socially, and then sportingly. Right, but Nico Jackson, this would be from Big David Ornstein. High among them, targets being spoken about, is Chelsea forward Nicholas Jackson, owing to his suitability and availability. The Stamford Bridge side are not desperate to trade the 24-year-old, especially given they require depth ahead of contesting Champions League football next season. The season's less than 2 weeks away. Wild. But the arrival of course, both Liam Delap and Joao Pedro provides competition and puts Jackson at risk of not being the primary forward. That is indisputable. And after scoring 30 goals across 81 games in London, he will want to be the main man somewhere else. Better than a, goal every 3 games. He gets assists, but he's so important with Jackson. He's not a striker that when he's not scoring, he's not doing anything. A bit like Erling Haaland. And that's a little bit unfair on Haaland because he does occupy defenders and therefore they have to think about him and therefore he's affecting the game. But in terms of transition, link-up play, Jackson's, I'm not saying he's a better striker than Haaland, of course not. He's nowhere near as good as finishing. But in terms of that element of the game, he's a desirable offensive asset. I don't need to tell you, we've done this to death all last season. When Chelsea don't have Jackson, often we were a lot worse. That's going to change, though, because we have other options now. Explains why Chelsea are open to sanctioning the Senegal international's departure if acceptable proposal arrives. Interest stems from suitors in both the Premier League and Europe. I read also Saudi somewhere, but that's unsurprising. Some of them want Jackson only if their key target cannot be obtained and if someone leaves. Others, in addition to what they already have. Either way, there's a growing expectation. See, this is big. There's a growing expectation he will exit. Purely because I guess, he is, he's just surely someone's got to pull the Jackson lever. Do you know what I mean? That's what Ornstein's saying here. And developments on that case are anticipated in the coming days. It would continue a remarkable sequence of sales completed or agreed by Chelsea, which means they would have accumulated more than £200 million in the current transfer window, and they are forecasting another 100 to 150 million before the deadline. Guys, 350 million pounds in sales. Didn't Newcastle United get sold for 300 million? Just this window, Chelsea are going to trade 330 million players worth of sales. That is remarkable. That is extraordinary. Why would clubs benefit from signing Jackson? It is an increasingly transitional league. Up, down, kick the ball quickly. Nicholas Jackson's devastating ability on the break is highly sought after. It's a highly sought after resource. Last season saw a 7-year high of 112 Premier League goals scored from counterattacks, and few players were central to those moves as Jackson. And we did really well in the first half of the season on the break. His ability to collect the ball in deep areas and surge up the pitch sets him apart. According to advanced data provided by Footovision, he led the division for counter-attacking involvements via ball carries. That is... in a way, this is a reason why you don't want to lose Jackson as well. But also, you can understand the way Maresca wants to play. He's got Jackson scoring goals like that, but he doesn't necessarily want to play like that. In some cases, he will. And we've either got Jackson or Delap or someone who can do that. But I think the main plan will remain to squeeze the play and field tilt up the pitch with a Joao Pedro combining with all the other players. Maybe a Xavi Simons and stuff like that. But yeah, he will always be useful for even the best teams. But there will be some teams, maybe Newcastle United, who might sign Seshko or whatever, that would really benefit from a Jackson in terms of it could be their main plan. Transitional football, robust, slap them on the break. Or even an Aston Villa, of course. He could be reunited with Unai Emery. We've heard that link before. Jackson is he is electric in transition, but his finishing and final third choices remain raw. That's gentle and kind. Yet few strikers possess the relentless desire and movement to reach those advanced areas in the first place. Jackson made 60 sprints in behind the defence, defined by skill corner as off-ball runs, at least 25 kilometres an hour, 9 more than any other Premier League player. So loads of fast off-the-ball runs. At least 9 more than any other player. Jackson specialises in specific traits that make him appealing profile for a host of Premier League clubs. Probably a couple that I've just spoken about them. And for all the noise around his performances, it's easy to forget Jackson hit double figures for league goals in both his first 2 seasons at Stamford Bridge. No penalties. 24 league goals, no penalties. Not bad, eh? So, Nicholas Jackson, will he go? Will he stay? Probably, it seems, he will go. Extraordinary stuff. Let's go into the Chelsea segment. All right. I'm going to pause the recording, sip my coffee, and we're going to tear through some Chelsea transfers. Chelsea, what happened this week? It's been a busy one. Boy howdy, it's been a busy one. As far as incomings go, Chelsea completed the purchase of Netherlands international defender. I heard it was, you know what? I'm going to name him Alex Goldberg. He told me to call him Jorel Hato, which I've since thought fine. You know, like I said, my name is Yannick. Some people spell it with a J sometimes. But they said Jarell on the Chelsea media. So how do you say it? We'll find out soon enough. For a fee around 40 million euros, they were also in the race for highly rated England under-19 midfielder. Won the race, for Jesse Derry. He chose to run his contract down at Palace. He's come to La Gels. More work has been done on the departures front. Joao Felix joined Al Nassr as an expected 30 million euros, with potential add-ons taking it up to 50 million. Wow, it's a big sale. Burnley have beaten off competitions from teams across Europe to buy midfielder Ugachukwu. They've also agreed a fee for Armando Bria, so they've got a double out of us and out of Leslie Ugachukwu and Armando Bria. It's a good double, to be honest. As reported, the transfer deal sheet, Chelsea's asking price was £25 million. The final sum is unlikely to be made public. Why is that? We've been following football transfers, many of us, for many years, decades, some of us. Why do sometimes transfer fees get publicised and then some don't? Is there NDAs signed in some instances and otherwise not? And then you don't get the leaks to journalists from agents or whatever? I'll never know. Everton are in talks, of course, Keane and Dewsbury Hall. We've heard the here we go from Romano. So surely it's done. Initial fee of 25 million with add-ons taking it up to about 30 million quid. The price that we originally paid for him. Should we get that, it would represent a small book profit. And a totally fine player that we had for a year that was a really good squad player that helped us win the Conference League, that helped us get top 4, that helped us win the Club World Cup. We wish Kieran Dewsbury Hall all the best. But if he's going to be an inside pocket player with the likes of Santos being utilised in that role, with the likes of Esteval William being able to play on the inside, heck, if we get it over the line with the likes of Xavi Simons, there's just, there ain't no space for you, man. But we wish him all the best. He deserves to go and be a starter in the Premier League. Sunderland are close to finalising a season-long loan for striker Mark Yu, which I love, by the way, him getting a Premier League loan. Many of you would have preferred he got a championship loan, a definite starter, go and score loads of goals in the champ. But he's 19. Even if he was just a year younger, I'd be like, yeah, but I feel like he could do it in the Prem. I think he can. I hope he can. The negotiation has included inserting a clause akin to Broyer's loan to Fulham last year, where a penalty fee will have to be paid if the forward does not play a certain number of games. Boom! So that should, soothe the concerns about him maybe not playing that much. Sunderland sources are comfortable with the situation and do not see the clause as being problematic, either because they can pay the small fee or they're like, no, we're going to play this guy. He looks wicked. I hope it's that one. Chelsea have been, there has been a lot of activity with sister club Strasbourg too. Don't we know it? Midfielder Kendry Paez, of course, has gone there. We're really hoping now to see him platformed in Europe and perform because although he's not being bracketed as the prodigy Esteval Willian, Kendry Paez has been, he broke all those records, for playing for Ecuador and, his club, is it Independiente de Valle? I am not sure. He played, I'm going to quickly check now. Yeah, yes, Independiente de Valle. Valle or Valle? Anyway, he broke records for both club and country playing as a youngster. Incredible talent. And, hopefully Strasbourg can platform him like it did for Andre Santos. And similarly, goalkeeper Mike Penders, like it did for Georgi Petrovic. Both on a season-long loan. Of course, Ishe Samuel Smith has moved permanently for an undisclosed fee, although we've heard reports it's about 6 milli. He's gone, but is he gone? That kind of vibe. Meanwhile, under-21 midfielder Leo Castledine has gone on loan to Huddersfield Town, and another talented member of the development squad, Alex Matos, is nearing a permanent departure. Do Chelsea have what it takes to compete on 4 fronts? Wow, this is the question. Chelsea believe they have improved the squad from the one that finished 4th in the Premier League and won the Conference League and became champions of the world for 4 years. The two wingers that have left, of course, since Jadon Sancho and Noni Madueke have already been replaced by Jamie Gittins and Stavao Willian. I suppose you could say left side and right side. That's true. The attack has also been strengthened too, with Liam Delap and Joao Pedro. Plus, extra midfield cover has been provided with the additions of Dario Asugo, who could be the Caicedo rotational backup option, and Santos, who of course returned triumphantly from his Strasbourg loan. Very, very good indeed. Hato's purchase has filled a gap, of course. Marc Cucurella, we've spoken about this in detail. Cucurella, we relied on him way too much. He friggin' delivered, but you can't expect him to keep doing that. So it's great. More departures are expected, particularly higher up the pitch. That will leave more space for arrivals to come. The only area that will not add to, that will come under any scrutiny from the fan base, is in goal. Oh, which will come under scrutiny is in goal. Yes, correct. That is correct. They have no intention to buy another keeper. Now, of course, despite trying to buy Mike Maignan earlier in the window, Chelsea are happy with Rob Sanchez, Philip Jorgensen. Sigh. As their main choices. Indeed, they turned down an offer from a Champions League club for the latter. Really? Philip Jorgensen. Champions League clubs coming in for them. In terms of the overall picture, head coach Maresca will have the opportunity to rotate due to the amount of options at his potential. Yeah, let's just talk about goalkeeper very, very quickly. You know my position on it. I don't think he's good enough. I'm very grateful for his performances. At times, and most notably in the Club World Cup, and even more specifically, the Club World Cup final. And yeah, by all accounts, the squad love Rob Sanchez. I'm not going to kick up a fuss. He's the goalkeeper. I'm very excited about the upcoming season, and that includes having him in goal. But if I was squad building, I would replace him. That's just my position. Maybe Chelsea get to the end of the window and they bring someone in because they get a really great market opportunity. I've got nothing against Robert Sanchez. He's got the capacity to put in an amazing performance. I never would doubt that. And of course, I would be so open to him having an excellent season and being Chelsea's first choice. How old is he? 27? Being Chelsea's first choice goalkeeper for the next 5 years, or at least until Penders is ready. I've got no issue with that. And if that's the plan and it works, great. But my gut feeling, and from the body of evidence, is it's just not good enough. But we'll see. So what positions are Chelsea still looking at, guys? Well, some names are going to pop up that we recognise here. The primary areas around another winger are the primary areas are another winger and a creative player. Here they come. Ding, 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 ding. Alejandro Garnacho. His hair's whiter than mine. And Xavi Simons, I hear both. They will not go away. Both players depend on exits, of course. Chelsea are in informal discussions with United over Garnacho, but that's far as it's gone. We know the player, Alejandro himself, really wants Chelsea. And lest we forget, Amorim's told him to do one, quite literally. After the final against Tottenham, the horrendous stinkfest Europa League final, he apparently, in front of the whole Manchester United squad, said to Garnacho, "You've got to go, mate." So he's got to go. And he's waiting for Chelsea. Despite having a lot of suitors. Football wants Garnacho, apparently. The same can be said for Simons. No formal bid has been made to RB Leipzig yet. Chelsea do have other players on their wish list. Of course, Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers. Worth mentioning with Simons, he wants Chelsea as well. He's already been commenting on the Hato announcement. His, of course, international teammate. I do think he'd make Chelsea really good. I'd like the signing. I just learned that Leipzig spent 60 million on him, or on a deal that can go up to 80 million, and they only just signed him permanently in January, a few months ago, and he's already gone, "Actually, I'd like to go, please." So Leipzig aren't trying to make a huge profit on him like they'd expect to make on all their other attacking sales. They're kind of trying to just make their money back, it would seem. Or a tiny book profit, or a tiny profit, which actually I found really interesting. So that's why Chelsea can't be come on, he wants to leave, and, you're trying to get loads of Premier League money out of us here. It would seem like Leipzig actually just trying to be look, let's just don't screw us here because we spent loads of money on this guy. I found that really fascinating. Right, so players that are leaving. So I guess Simon Johnson's writing this. It's going to be a long video, guys. As my colleague David Ornstein reports, Chelsea are not desperate to sell Nico Jackson, but would be open to sanctioning a departure, of course. The transfer deal sheet revealed last month Chelsea are open to loaning Tyreek George, but the situation has since developed. Yeah, we've spoken about this. A straight loan is still a possibility for Tyreek George, but now a permanent sale is being considered. If he does get sold, say to like a Leipzig, because they are interested in Tyreek George actually, so there must be loads of conversations going on with them, that Chelsea would try and put in a buyback clause or something like that. Yeah, a buyback clause is being spoken about here, which is great because if he becomes really, really good, Tyreek, because they do believe in him, just because they don't necessarily think he's got the talent of like a Joshua Champong or the suitability for Maresca's Chelsea right now as a Joshua Champong, you know, further back on the pitch, then they see a huge ceiling in Tyreek, so maybe they sell him for 15, 20 million and they have a buyback for 40 million that, you know, becomes active in over a year's time. Because if he does go there and look wicked and becomes an England international and yada, 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 they could sign him when he's 21 or 22 and he could just play for Chelsea. Maybe. Christo Nkunku is valued at 50 million euros. What's that? 41, 42 million pounds. Has been given permission to miss the start of pre-season training. Yeah, he wasn't pictured, was he? He is the subject of inquiries from a number of clubs in England, Italy and Germany. The teams that looked like possible candidates to sign him earlier in the window were Man United and now RB Leipzig as well. Would he go back there, though? Surely he wouldn't want to go back, especially when Bayern were asking. Man United will pay higher wages. I don't know. And Leipzig aren't in the Champions League. If I was him, I wouldn't want to go back. Of course, again, Jackson is the subject of multiple approaches in England and in Europe. Chelsea do not see him as untouchable and will demand a high fee, of course, considering what the market's demanding and dictating at the moment. Chelsea is still working on the sales of Sterling, Chilwell, Vega, who I think will be easy to sell, Carney Chukwuemeka, who we look like Borussia Dortmund will try and buy him permanently, and Axel Disasi, who by all accounts has a lot of interest still and lots in France. Gilchrist is still hopeful of joining a championship side. May have to wait a little bit. And defender Aaron Anselmino is highly rated at Chelsea after integrating into the camp during the second half of the season. Teams in Europe have made an inquiry. Very interesting with Aaron Anselmino. Will we give him a chance? Are we planning to give him a future, or is he an asset that Chelsea see as a good player and then make a lot of money on? We'll see what happens there. Lots happening. Alright, so let me know your thoughts, guys. It's a very, very busy time at Chelsea Football Club. I will, of course, keep you guys updated. So keep it locked. Like and subscribe if you want to. Hit the bell if you choose to. And do check out Surfshark if you're yet to do it. It's a great VPN. I do genuinely use it all the time. There'll be a link in the top of the description. Or you use my code FOOTBALL on Surfshark to get a fantastic deal. It's time. Alright, mate. See you in a bit. Peace.